Okay, I wanted to point out that when I originally did this, I put the sweet wort in a plastic bucket, didn't I? And now it's in a glass carboy, you'll notice. So what I actually did was after about 3 days, if you'll look, there it is. After about 3 days, I transferred from the plastic bucket to this glass carboy because of that. Got rid of a lot of that crud, trube, if you will, by transferring. Is it necessary? No, but if you're going to have this thing in the fermenter, whether it's the plastic one or the glass one, for longer periods of time, really getting rid of that stuff will help. You don't get weird flavors and off flavors. You run less risk of infection because you're getting rid of these things that can, you know, in the long term rot. As well as it helps with a clearer beer. So that does add a step to our bottling process. Rather than going from one bottling bucket, you know, directly into the bottle or that kind of thing, I put it into a glass carboy. Now we're going to transfer it into a bottling bucket, and there is, you know, I've got it sanitized so it's sitting here upside down. You can see there's the valve. So what I'm going to do is rack it via this racking cane, which is hanging out, and there's a little bit of tubing in there, you'll see. Hook the tubing to the racking cane. The racking cane is going to go into the glass carboy. It is then going to transfer down to this bucket, right? While it's transferring, we're going to add the sugar, and then it'll stir itself, basically, you know, as the beer swirls around while it's transferring. That way we're getting a very even sugaring. The priming sugar will be even throughout the whole vessel. So when we go from here to the bottles, we know we're going to get even priming for each bottle. In this case, what the heck, I've decided not to use 12-ounce bottles. I'm only using all my big bottles. So what you're going to see here, although I do have a few 12 ounces in case I end up with not enough to fill one of these big ones, I'm using all my Samuel Smiths and all this kind of, you know, big bottles. And one huge bottle just to show you guys how anything can be capped. On the videos, you're going to see people using plastic bottles. You're going to see people using plastic 2-liter bottles. All that's fine as long as it's a good, sturdy, heavy bottle that will hold the pressure. Glass is ideal because you don't get any, you know, breeze from the you know, plastic being much more porous than glass. Far more porous than glass. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that. We're going to go, that's the next step. Once we get this water boiled with the sugar in it for 5 minutes, then we're going to start transferring the beer and add the sugar during that rack. Okay, so bottling. 16 ounces, which is 500 milliliters, let's say, of water. Here's my water from the tap. Smells fine. No chlorine smell, nothing. Putting our pint of water in our little pot, and we're going to bring it to a boil, at which point we're going to add 4 ounces of corn sugar, which came along with the kit that we're using. I have a 4-year-old. You can hear him in the background. So we're going to get this to a boil, then we're going to add in our corn sugar, and then we're going to let that continue to boil for 5 minutes, right? Just to make sure there's nothing in the water and all that. Effectively, we're going to make a simple syrup. And I have cleaned out all my bottles, which are in here. You've seen them before. Like this. Bleached them, got the labels off them, scrubbed them out, rinsed them out with hot water. What you're looking at here is an iodophor solution. So I'm soaking them in a little bit of iodophor, and then I'm going to put them in the dishwasher upside down and let them drip dry. Which I'm going to do now while that is getting ready to boil. Okay, so here is our beer slowly filling up. In fact, we're up to almost half a bucket. Forgot to turn the valve off. There's a step you might want to remember. Make sure your valve is off. I had it open because I was draining sanitizing solution through it, you know. And then when I turned it, it was upside down. It was pointing upwards, but beer started coming out. So turn that off before you start transferring your beer. Okay, I've got the lid on as best I can because I don't obviously want anything to drop in here. The way I started, unfortunately I don't have a siphon starter right now, so the way I started my siphon was to fill this thing up with my sanitizing solution, drop this end in, and then I let it run into a bowl until beer came out, and then drop it in here. And then as it's swirling around filling up, I just added the sugar. No real crazy stuff, just get the sugar in there, put the lid on, and let it continue to drain. Okay, I'm getting towards the end, so we're going to turn this off because I want to baby it a little bit. I want to get as much beer as possible, but I don't want to go crazy about getting that last little drop, alright? It's not going to fill up, you know, if I've got a half full bottle, it's a wasted bottle anyway, so that last ounce isn't going to help me. Because I really want to get as little of the trub as humanly possible. Alright, back in a few. Okay, good old traditional child labor. Hello, Hayden.
Hello.
And Alex.
Hello.
So Alex is using the bottle filler, which is a bottom fill, like you've probably seen quite a few times.
And
thank you, Alex. Can you hand Alex another one, Hayden? Oh, there you go. Okay. And then we put a cap on.
You put a cap on.
Can you get the cap for me? It's right there on the table. We just, now really what you guys should do is just put your caps on loose, you know, do a couple bottles and then, you know, cap them all at once. Don't just, in my case, you know, if you've got a production light going, you're lucky.
Yeah, right here.
Stop. Hayden. Okay, so what I'll usually do is I'll just put the cap on loosely until I've got, say, half of them or all of them or whatever. And then I will start capping them. But in this case, I'm just going to cap them one for one because my wonderful son is filling them up for me.
Hello?
Pay attention. And what you do with these bottom fillers is you just keep filling it up until it hits the top. And then obviously the filler displaces right about enough. So I don't know if we'll be able to get enough light, but it's right about there. And Mike could use a little more. So you get a little more in those, Alex. Okay. Oh yeah, see this one here's perfect. Stand up please, Hayden.
It got to
this one here's perfect.
Very top.
Well, you don't want it very top. What you want is somewhere in the neighborhood of between 1 inch and 2 inches. Definitely no more than 2 or else you'll overpressurize.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, so 12 to 12, 15, 16 bottles plus 24, what's that, 28? And one 50-ounce Magnum, which used to be a Celebration Ale, a Magnum of Celebration Ale. So instead of the 45 give or take bottles, you know, we're looking at less than that, but these are all, except for a couple, so I end up using some of the small ones. These are all in the 20 to 25 ounce range, and I still got, obviously, you know, quite a bit. And that's it. They're bottled up. Now we're just going to stick them in the cellar for 2 weeks, let's say. They'll be drinkable before the 2 weeks, but let's just say 2 weeks. Give them plenty of time to carbonate. There's no big hurry to drink them. We're saving these up for St. Patrick's Day, which is about a month, let's say 5 weeks from now. Okay, see you guys later.